cozy cardigan slash sweater, and it just feels like a cozy blanket, and I just kind of wanted to wrap myself in it and get the cozy vibes for this video. I am doing an up-close whisper ramble, and the gain on the mic is higher than normal so that everything will be a little bit more exaggerated, and I'm going to try and speak a little bit slower. Tonight we're going to be talking about my experience with microblading. I recently got my eyebrows done. As you can see, I have no makeup on right now, just a little bit of lip gloss and my lashes, but I have no face makeup on and no makeup in my eyebrows. If you don't know about microblading, I'm going to give you a little bit of details in this video. Tell you about my experience, how much I paid, difference in different types of eyebrow shading and microblading. There's so much to learn. When I originally started to look into it, I thought there was just one type, microblading, but the woman that I went to, the girl that I went to, had so many more options and so many more techniques to choose from as far as your eyebrows go that I didn't even know existed. So I thought I would share them with you and kind of go through the process with you, because it is a long process of healing. So let's just get into it. So essentially, microblading is tattooing. It's just not as long term as a regular tattoo. I was taught and informed by the woman who did my eyebrows that it doesn't go as deep through the layers of your skin as a normal tattoo would. So let me just start from the beginning. So I became interested in getting my eyebrows done because, let's be honest, I don't think anybody enjoys waking up and having to draw on their eyebrows, right? I don't wear makeup on a regular basis, which is probably crazy for you guys to hear, but I only wear makeup maybe 2 or 3 times a week, if that. And so the rest of those days, I just have my natural eyebrows, and they were decent, they weren't that bad, but they were a little bit sparse, and I didn't love the shape anymore. When I was growing up, I used to get my eyebrows done where I got my nails done. And when we were in high school, all the girls in my high school would go to that nail shop and ask them for their Rachel brow. True story. Everybody loved my eyebrows. They loved the shape, all of it. So I really enjoyed my eyebrows back then, but back then it was cool to have your eyebrows a little bit thinner and very arched and whatnot. Well, when you pluck so much over time, those brows hairs start to not grow back. So like I said, they were decent, but they weren't what I wanted them to be, and the hairs weren't growing in the shape that I wanted them to grow in, so on the days that I didn't wear makeup, I was a little bit insecure about my eyebrows, and was just wishing that they were, a little bit fuller and a little bit more shapely. And even when I did do my makeup, I wasn't like in love with my brow shape. I just never felt like I perfected my brow. So I watched this girl on YouTube, woman, and she had gotten her brows done, and she was just raving about the experience and just saying how nice it is to wake up and not have to worry about drawing on your eyebrows. Being able to skip that step in makeup when you're doing your makeup, not have to worry about, spending an hour on your eyebrows and making sure they're even and blah, blah, blah. And, spending all the money on eyebrow pencils and, eyebrow gels and whatever. And that was about a year ago. And I kind of, got a little bit more interested once I heard her speaking so highly of it. And then I started to do some research and look into it and kind of got steered away a little bit. But I didn't really educate myself that much. I just, kind of looked into it, but nothing crazy. So fast forward to about a month ago, I had one of my friends get her brows done, and she posted photos to Facebook, and I was like, oh my god, they look so good. Like, I want that, So I did a Google search for microblading in my area, and it popped up a ton of different places, and I started to kind of feed through them to see which ones that I like the best, because you can go through their photos and go through their Instagram if they have linked Instagrams to their website. And then I stumbled upon the lady who did my brows, and I was looking through her portfolio on Instagram, and I was highly impressed. Very particular about the tone of my brows that I like, and the shape of the brow. And, with COVID, I wanted to make sure I read a lot of reviews and made sure it was clean, sanitary. So I started to look through her portfolio, and I looked through her reviews, and I seen that she had a 5-star review and a lot of reviews. Like, it wasn't just one or two, So, I started to kind of think about getting it done a little bit more. So then I contacted her, and at that point I really didn't think I was going to do it. I just wanted more information about it. And I sent her some photos of my eyebrows, and I sent her some photos of the work that she had done in her portfolio on Instagram, and told her, this is what I want. I love the shape, I love the color, I love everything. Can we make this possible with my brows? And she texted me back, and she said yes, and told me about the different options. I sent her 3 photos, and every single photo that I sent her was a different kind of brow. So that's going to lead me into this section of the topic. So when I first started looking into all of this, I essentially just thought that it was microblading, nothing else. But there's a lot more than that. So the 3 options that I sent her photos of based off of work that she had done was 1, microblading, plain microblading, ombre, and 3, bold combination. And what I ended up getting was bold combination, and I'll explain each of them to you. So microblading is more of a natural looking brow, more of the just essential hair strokes. Ombre brow is more of that like makeup look, like when you do your eyebrows and you fill them in, more of the shaded look, less individual brows, more of a faded look. And fuller, more filled in, like a filled in look. And then bold combination is kind of a mix of the two, so there's some shading, but the front of the brow is a very natural look with the hair strokes in the brow. So based off of the photos I sent her of work that she had done, she said for my eyebrows and how much hair I had, and based off what I was looking for, that bold combination would be my best bet. So I agreed, and bold combination was a little bit pricier than the traditional microblading because there is shading involved. Microblading, there is no shading involved. It is just the strokes. So she was very booked up, and I wasn't able to get in with her for about a month and a half to 2 months, which was a good sign to me because if she's that pre-booked, that means that she does good work, right? A lot of people want to get in there, so my appointment was on the 1st of September, and we chose, as I said previously, the bold combination. And for microblading, I believe she charges $450, and for bold combination it was $550. There were cheaper options with other people, like $380, $400, but her work I was willing to pay a little bit more for. If I'm essentially getting something that could last up to a year, 18 months on my face, I want to make sure that I'm doing it with somebody's work that I trust. And she had over 100 different photos, and none of them I disliked, so I felt very comfortable going into it, and I was willing to pay a little bit more for that security. Do you know what I mean? So when I went in, I had my mask on and everything. She had her mask on, very sanitary, both washed her hands, so on and so forth. And she let me pick out a shade and told me, based off the photos that I showed her of work that she did on other women, there was one particular girl who had the color exactly what I needed, what I wanted. So she mixed it up for me and demoed it, and then she did like a map out of my eyebrows and the shape, and asked me if it was okay if we needed to do any tweaking, and she kind of put a different shape on this side than this side, and we kind of chose and made a decision based off of the bone structure and the hair that I have had already. So no two people are going to have the same eyebrows. Your bone structure, the bone structure, and the amount of hair you have is going to be different from the next person. So based off of mine, we did the map out of what my brows were going to look like, and then that took about maybe 30 to 40 minutes, and then we had to pick the color, and she has like a ton of different tones, which I do appreciate as well because everybody has different undertones in their skin and so on and so forth, so that was very good. And then we started, and that brings me into the next part of this topic, and that's, did it hurt? layers of skin as a normal tattoo would. So I kind of didn't know what to expect as far as the pain went. So I just said yes. So she went ahead and she told me the first pass that she did with the machine that I couldn't be numb for that for whatever reason. So when she first started, it hurt. It hurt, I'm not gonna lie. The best way that I can describe how it felt was like scraping with a dull blade really hard into your skin. That's how it felt. I don't want to go too much into detail because I want to relax you. But if you're thinking about doing it, I want you to know and be prepared. So, it probably took about a half an hour of that, but after the first pass through, she numbed me and it felt so much better afterwards. It wasn't as painful. And then, she showed me my eyebrows and I was just so happy. I'm so happy. She did such a good job. She executed everything that I wanted. And I'm just very happy with the results. Now, my eyebrows are darker right now than they are going to be, and they're darker right now than when she originally did them. And that's because they are in the healing process. So when you get your eyebrows done like this, it is a process. It's not like you're just gonna get them done and you're good to go. You can go wear makeup the next day and your brows are how they're going to be. No. So I can't work out for 10 days. I can't wear makeup for 10 days. The first day I had to search through like 5 stores to find foaming antibacterial hand soap, because you have to wash your brows and then you have to use the Aquaphor, but just like a rice-sized amount, and put it through the brows. And you have to make sure there's no lint on your hands. Your hands are clean because you don't want to get infection, right? You have to be extremely careful. And so yeah, the first day you have to wash your brows twice, and then the second day you wash them when you wake up and before bed, and then the third day you don't wash them anymore. For day 3 to 10, I believe, you cannot wet your brows like at all, and they suggest that you take baths instead of showers so that you don't risk getting your brows wet. And so your skin, when you're going through the healing process, what essentially happens to the brows is, I'm going to read it from my iPad so I don't mess this up. Let me just pull it up. Okay. What does the microblading healing process day by day look like? Now this goes for if you get ombre, if you get microblading, if you get bold combination, and there's more that you can choose from, but these rules go for all of those options, okay? So it says day 1 and 2, your eyebrows are swollen and they are red. Redness in them and around them. Also, they look too dark and thick, and you might feel that this was a bad idea. The area around your brows is red and sensitive. It is also prone to infections. Some bleeding might appear. What to do? Don't panic. The color will change into its desired one. They will become almost 50% lighter once they are healed. Follow the aftercare instructions religiously. Don't wash your face, don't sleep on your stomach, and avoid intense sweating, swimming pools, and saunas. Day 3 to 4. Your brows will look better and you will be satisfied. They are getting used to the fact you are these days, your skin is making something that's called lithium, and it's the skin's way of protecting the area of healing, right? So you have to wipe that off. You have to like blot it. You don't want there to be too much shine. Like right here, it's a little shiny. Once I'm done with this, I have to go blot it off because you don't want it to be suffocated with oils and stuff. So yeah. And the girl kind of about like them being darker while they're healing. She said it's kind of like a cat scratch. If you've ever been scratched by an animal or a cat, when you first get a scratch, it's like swollen and red, and then it's like a light pink, bloody color, and then it goes to a deep dark color, right? Deep dark red. That's kind of the same thing with the brows, and that's the skin's process of healing. Day 5 to 7. This is the scabbing stage. The microbladed area is itchy. You might feel irritated, but scratching is strictly forbidden. The area is still pretty sensitive, and scratching can cause complications. The pigment is inserted only two layers under your skin. It does not go as deep as with a traditional tattoo. Because of this, scratching can take it off. And it just says during the exfoliation stage to stay calm and let it do its thing. You can now wash your face gently, but be careful with the microbladed area. Do not scratch the area around your brows because you might pull the pigment out. And it says if that happens, they can be touched up. You can go back, which they technically tell you to do in like 4 weeks, just so the artist can look at your brows and make sure everything is good. And if you need a touch up, they will touch you up. And then it says days 8 to 10. Your brows are much lighter than they should be. You might think that your skin rejects the pigment, but this is usually not the case. After all the scabbing and peeling, your brows keep recovering. Now they are light. What to do? Don't freak out. Don't run to the microblading artist asking for a money refund, thinking the whole treatment was unsuccessful. This happens to almost everyone who had their brows microbladed. Your color will come back. It is part you will see me barefaced, and we're just gonna be chilling. So, yeah. Thank you so much to Sammy if you're watching. She is now a subscriber of mine. You did an amazing job on my eyebrows, girl, and I really appreciate you. And just want to say thank you to all of you. If you like storytime videos like these, I do a ton of them over on my Patreon. That's where I do the majority of them, and the link to sign up is always down below in the description.